Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I am your host, Quentin Edmonds. Everybody, you know, just call me Q. And today I am joined by some special people. I've been chatting with them backstage. I'm looking forward to chatting with them here. This is going to be a really, really great episode. I want to introduce and welcome my friends and Susan Coppinger, who's been making serious moves. And I'm going to actually let them tell you the space that they've been making moves in, because it's such a great, great opportunity for you and I and others that's listening to get involved and really get some buy-in to what they're doing. So I am really, really glad to have y'all here today. How are you two feeling today?
Good.
Great. I love it. Really going to take something away from your approach, what you're building, how you're building it, and the things that you are looking for maybe to have some other people get kind of like involved in, right? So let's dive in. I mean, first of all, if people, they may not be familiar with you or your world, kind of give us a short version of what it is that you are focused on these days. And if you don't mind, tell them where you are. If you're comfortable with that, tell them, where you're working out of, where these things are moving in, the market that's moving in. So yeah, the floor is yours. Talk to us.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Well, we're working in the St. George market, which is just about 90 minutes north of Las Vegas. It's one of the fastest growing resort communities in the United States right now. It's a very hot market on I-15, about 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours north of Los Angeles, about 4 hours south of Salt Lake. It's a beautiful area. It's the Mojave Desert. It's absolutely stunning. And what we're building down there is the Oasis at Red Cliffs project. And what it is, it's a 16-unit, very exclusive resort community designed around multi-generational travel. And what we're trying to do is bring families together. And the whole purpose of the development is to help us generate the funds and the endowment. There it is. Generate an endowment for the nonprofit that we started called the Holland House Project. And the Holland House Project is all about helping families with disabled children in times of crisis. So what we're trying to help them do is access the counseling and learn the skills that they need to be able to deal with their disabled children and the grief and the loss, the PTSD, and even improve their marriages so that they can better support their disabled children. So this is really focused on the caregivers. And that's why that's why the multi-generational travel is so important, is we're trying to bring families together, because families with disabled children, especially when they find out they have disabled children, they're pretty young. So we're talking, families that are in their late 20s, early 30s. So grandparents are still around. We still have, siblings that may be around that are also married.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So we're trying to bring these families together to coalesce around this family who's just discovered they have a disabled child and to better support them. You know, bringing families together is never a bad thing, especially when we're dealing with the challenges of raising a disabled child. So anyway, the reason we call it the Holland House Project is it's based on the Welcome to Holland. It was written by Emily Pearl Kingsley, who was a longtime writer for Sesame Street. If you go to our website, it's all published there, the original, and permission to use it. She very kindly allowed us to use Holland House as an example, because these families have found themselves somewhere other than where they expected to be. Having a child, yet you expect to be able to teach them how to, play baseball or football, or, teach them, or they can go into dance if it's a girl or something. You've got dreams. You have these children, and they're beautiful dreams. But for those of us that find out we have disabled children, those dreams change. They get destroyed. They get lost. So parents deal with a lot of PTSD and stress trauma. And what it ends up being is there's one skill that's extremely important. And what it was is there's this thing called the infinity war that you fall into. And what it is, where, Susan would say something and I react to it. And then she reacts to me. We'll end up with this argument going on in a fight that ends, that eventually with the fighting, marriages end. These kids end up not being supported. So, but below that line, when you get stuck in this infinity war, right, reacting to one another, your feelings that you're actually feeling. And that's not necessarily what your partner thinks. So learning that skill is incredibly important. And that we learned from marriage counselors. Our marriage almost fell apart back in 2021. So just as our son was dying, our son passed away about 8 months later. So we needed that to be able to deal with the loss of our son, Michael. So our story is we've had 2 disabled children out of 3. So we have 1 daughter left. We like to tease her that she's the only child the hard way. We had to knock off the other one. She didn't want to shit. We like you with a healthy dose of humor, but anyway,
Absolutely.
she's a wonderful child. But when Michael was passing away, we found out that these skills are actually teachable. So helping families, especially the caretakers, the parents, learn those skills can save marriages. It can also help them deal with their own grief so that they can better support their disabled children. And there's also grandparents and sometimes siblings of, the parents that want to help them. So the whole goal here with Oasis at Red Cliffs Project is to bring those families together so that they can better support each other. And we're trying to make this project a resort unto itself, kind of putting it in a magnificent area. I mean, you've got Sand Hollow Reservoir right there. So there's boating and swimming in a beautiful red beach. You've got the off-highway vehicle area right there at Sand Mountain, which is right next to the lake. You can go 4-wheeling. You can rent a side-by-side and go and play in the sand dunes. There's mountain biking right there. It's about 30 minutes out of Zion National Park. The Lake Powell is only about an hour and a half away. Grand Canyon, the north end of Grand Canyon that's on fire right now, unfortunately, is only about 90 minutes away as well. So there's a lot to do in the area, but we're trying to make the development of kind of a destination.
Absolutely.
And that's where we're bringing things like a private swimming pool into each unit. The units are 7 bedrooms, 7.5 baths. There's a king and queen bed. Well, actually, we're designing them to be all kings now. But there's 1 or 2 bunk rooms in each one for grandkids. So we're really focused on bringing these families together to support each other. So this multi-generational travel in such a wonderful area with so much to do, as well as, bringing amenities into the resort that families want to, that get them off their phones and get them interacting with one another. Whether they're swimming in the lagoon or swimming in the pool, or, stand-up paddleboarding in the lagoon, or, learning new mountain biking skills on the pump track. We're getting them all an opportunity to come together and to do things together as a family to better support these disabled kids. So that's kind of what we're doing, and a little long-winded, but that's what we're doing.
No, sir, not long-winded at all. I am so excited about what you're doing. I'm so excited about the the Oasis of Red Cliffs project. So excited about the Holland House project. I love how y'all want to build a support, well, the multi-generational travel. I don't even know if I'm not familiar with that term. So, I mean, that just in itself speaks volumes in itself about the continuity of family. But the
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
part that really stuck out for me is how you really want to support caregivers. And I tell people when I talk to people about making sure that they are leaving enough of themselves to be able to support other people. I tell them, and I use the analogy that I've heard, and you probably heard as well, that when a plane is in distress and the oxygen mask come out, the stewardess always tell people, put your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else. And so what you're doing, you have these caretakers they're doing the work. Nobody has to convince them to do it. But now you're telling me you're going to do it and we're going to support you while you do it. We're going to make sure that you have an oxygen mask that you can put on yourself so that you can go back to the work that you are willingly doing. And it's not, I mean, it's not easy work. And it's nothing that I can say really to quantify to make people kind of understand unless you kind of did it yourself, and I've been in a position to be a caretaker. I mean, it is messy work. It can be a very um, arduous work. It is a very arduous work. I mean, it's so many things that come along with it. So I love the fact that you want to make sure that the caretakers are supported because majority of them, their hearts are in the right place. You can't convince them to stop. They want to keep going. But sometimes it's hard for them to receive and understand, hey, y'all need support too. Like y'all. And so, I mean, I just love everything about what you're doing. I really, really do. And it's not easy building something like this in this climate. It's really not. And so I guess one of my next questions is, how do you keep this thing running smoothly? Like, how do you keep persevering and keep it running as smooth as it possibly can? Like, how do you balance that?
Really, it's hard. It's a passion project for sure, and that passion and that experience that we've had as parents and caregivers really drives us forward. So we're going to keep persevering no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens, what challenges we run into. Parents need this, and we've experienced it. And just the memory and of the grief and the pain and the challenges that we personally have been through keep us driving forward. That's how we keep it moving. In terms of keeping it smooth, well, there's nothing ever smooth about an entrepreneurship journey. There's always going to be setbacks and challenges. So right now it's been a lot more perseverance than smooth, but we're going to keep going no matter what. We ain't going to quit. We're not going to quit, not until this thing is funded or we're dead. So,
Absolutely.
that's the way it works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Kirk, I really want people to kind of understand some of the ups and downs that you go through because I really want people to have an opportunity maybe to buy in, right? To buy in with something that's so important as this. So to actually continue to humanize kind of what's going on. Are there times that you've ran into a situation where kind of things went sideways, maybe like you had to pivot fast or like, something didn't go the way you wanted to. Like, you mind sharing one of those moments for us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There have been quite a few actually, because this has been an 18-month journey for us to this point. We've had the city kind of reject our plans and we finally worked that out with them. But one of the biggest challenges we've run into is just with getting the financing because it's such a niche product, excuse me. Multi-generational travel, like you said, you're not used to, you haven't heard that before. Maybe people have heard about multi-generational homes. That's where, you build a second, like an ADU or an additional dwelling unit that is for older parents. or something along those lines. Well, we're trying to take that same kind of concept and push it into the vacation home or vacation rental type of market where, families can travel together. A lot of families go to Disney World together, but then they end up in 15 hotels.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Or 15 hotel rooms or something like that. It becomes difficult. So we're trying to introduce the concept of bringing these families together and giving them one place that they can stay that's affordable. Right now, you can get a place, that has 8 bedrooms down in St. George, but $2,000-3,000 a night. We're looking for something that's a lot less than that. We're actually bringing our product in lower to where, if you bought a share and you wanted to use it 6.5 weeks a year, you're only at about 200 to 250,000 per share. So we're looking at perhaps doing something fractional or, vacation rental. The city's still arguing with us about the vacation rentals because they don't want to become just a vacation rental destination. They also want a full-time residents. There've been quite a few setbacks, but getting the financing for this, niche product has been a real challenge, to be honest with you. We've had groups that pulled out because it's not the production style housing that tends to get funding more easily than what we're trying to do. So when you kind of think outside that box and start doing something a little different, sometimes the financing gets a little more difficult. So we're looking for fans and people that want to help join us in this journey to build this dream and to support families that have disabled children. Because I got to be honest with you, your metaphor about the mask dropping down. So many parents are out there working without a mask. They're suffocating. They're struggling. We need to get them that mask. And there are so many people out there, and probably so many of your listeners here that have experienced or know somebody who has a disabled child or an older parent even that could use that mask or know somebody who could use that mask. So almost all of us can relate. And we're looking for people who can help us, get that mask. So we're looking for fans. We're looking for supporters. We're looking for people to go to our website and, even if they can only give $10 a month, help us, help these families learn the skills that are going to make their lives better and help them better support the disabled children.
Absolutely. Listen, that's the kind of stuff people kind of don't talk about. And I appreciate you. Honestly, I appreciate you talking about what you're talking about. And uh, you headed towards it. But again, I want our people to understand what's going on, what your goals are. And because I want to make it very clear what is it that you're trying to do so that people can support. So like what's the next real goal? Like we have to do some problem solving. Where do you feel like the next place that you could ramp this thing up or goal? How can people help? Like give me some insight on that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, where people can help is we problem solving. The problem we have right now is we're trying to raise $1.5 million to get for our construction loan to close. Our first obstacle is we need $1.5 million for our cash to close on our construction loan. Right now, my permits are pretty much ready to go. I'm already through the city council with all the zoning and all the planning department and everything. So my construction plans are in for review right now. I can pull permits in the next week or two. But where we're at is I just need some cash to close on the first purpose-built Holland House because we also donate week-long stays to families who already have access to the counseling services and things like that. We're going to work with them, of course, to help them understand how important those are. But we also have, their families that sometimes they just need a break. So we're doing a purpose-built Holland House in this development so that we can get families to come together and support each other. But it's purpose-built for that. It's actually going to be larger. We're going to have an elevator in the unit so that, somebody, if they've got a child in a wheelchair, say a child with spina bifida, you don't want to have to carry them or have them isolated to one floor. They're going to be able to access the entire house, They want to go up to see grandma on the top floor. They can go see grandma on the top floor.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to access every part of the home. But that's the first obstacle. We're getting that cash to close, that $1.5 million cash to close to get us over this first obstacle and get us through the first one. So this would be kind of, if you're an investor and you're familiar with the VC kind of language, we're in our seed phase right now. We've already tested the idea in the pre-seed. We already know it's going to work. We already know there's a desperate need for this. We know the product's going to work. There's a lot of demand for it down in the St. George market, but we need that cash to close right now. And then moving forward, we're actually going to probably start a fund where we're going to invite investors to put their money in, and we're going to scale this thing. We want to put a unit in that's accessible for every state in the entire United States and Canada. We want to expand international. We want to take this thing so that it's synonymous with the disability community, as the Ronald McDonald House is with the cancer hospitals. We want people all over the country to be helped. This isn't just we're starting here in Utah, but that's because, we've got an absolutely gorgeous state and we've got so many things to come and see and do that it is kind of a vacation tourist destination. But we want to put this across the United States. We want people in New York City to be able to access this, as well as, Tennessee and Georgia and, Texas, even Montana, or even the West Coast out here. Let's put one out there in Oregon on the coast where people want to go. Let's build 1,000 of these Holland homes throughout the world to support families everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're going to build a fund for that. So there's going to be an investment fund moving forward when we hit our Series A onto our Series B, where we're really scaling. I've got some fans right now, but I could certainly use all the fans we can get and people that want to help drive this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. And that's big. That's big. Especially you already got stuff in place, but you're trying to push this thing forward, right? You're trying to get as many people involved as possible. And I know like the next move, it can compound things or kind of cause chaos. And so, you just got to make the right moves. And I love how, and we talked a little bit about it, trying to get people to kind of get the buy-in. What's the biggest difference for you, and can be kind of like the biggest hurdle for you in building relationships and trying to get people to buy in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes great sense. One of the biggest hurdles we're running into, and this isn't just about the money. One of the things we're not offering a lot of people is equity in the project. So one of my fundraising things that I'm doing right now to try to get that $1.5 million cash to close is we're offering a 15% annualized return on the investment. And a lot of people are like, well, I could make more if I am an equity partner. But yeah, you could. But we're trying to appeal to people that want to help drive forward a wonderful cause, and maybe not make quite as much, but still make a great return. And, there have been some people who have just flat said, that's not really what I'm looking for. And it's been a challenge to try to find people who are willing to make just a good return on their invested money, but not, the great return that they could, because we're trying to push as much of that great return into the endowment for the Holland House so we can fund this thing in perpetuity. We want it to outlast us. We want this thing to be viable forever, because we want to build an endowment just like you do for a lot of these universities where, they have a $100 million endowment. If we could get $100 million endowment for the Holland House Project, do you know how many families we can help? Do you know how much good we can do in the world? Helping us do that takes a special person. So, building relationships has been a bit of a challenge because, there are a lot of people out there that are just about the money. We're looking for the special ones that are good with making some money. 15% is way better than you're going to get in the stock market. But, it's not as good as, being an equity partner. But if they're willing to come and help us build this dream and help us help families, we can still turn them a pretty good profit.
Absolutely. 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 Yeah. You can't fake that. Relationships are everything in this space, and finding the people who really are going to take time to relate to the mission, to relate to what this is really all about, and really build that relationship, right? That connection where they see the need, they see the purpose, and they see the servitude that this can do for so many people.
Exactly.
And so, like, this is forward thinking. this, and that's the thing about with niche, and they throw that word niche out, and it has a meaning, but they think about how to scale this, but then they really miss the heart of it and really miss the long-term effects that this really can have. Like the
Hmm.
seed that's really being planted, that's really going to sprout up. I mean, I think you are at the beginning of something just huge, just huge. And I'm not trying to use a whole lot of hyperbolic words, but I see it. I see the need for it. And my hope is that people seeing this, that they want to build those relationships and be that strategic partner, relationship person that you need. And so that's my heart. That's my heart.
So finding those
Um,
people that are more than about just the money is what we're
absolutely.
looking for. And they're rare birds. They're beautiful, wonderful people. They're
Yep.
just a little harder to find.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I know about visionaries, which I believe that you and Miss Susan are, unfortunately, sometimes you see the vision, they don't see it until it's built. So sometimes people come in a little too late, right? And so that's why it's so important to build relationships, because sometimes you just got to buy into the people. Sometimes when you sit down with the people and you really get the feeling of their heart and what they doing, sometimes that just has to be your buy-in, because y'all have the vision. And we're gonna show them everything, where it makes sense. You're gonna show them, but still sometimes what moves the needle is people just buy in into the people. And so that's my hope, that people buy into you as the visionaries. And so after it's built, they can say, oh yeah, I see it now. They can see it all the way through then, but I see it now. And so that's my hope, that people buy into the people. So those that are listening, I need you to buy into the people. I need you to get together with Mr. Kirk and Miss Susan, and let's buy into the vision. But is there anything you would like to say before we wrap?
No, just that this, like he said, this is a passion project for, even while we were raising those disabled kids, I always wanted to do something. I wanted to give back because there are so many people along the way, service providers, doctors, friends, just we want to give back because we know how hard it is to raise disabled kids. It is taxing not only on you as an individual, but on, like you said, on your marriage. We just want to help these families because we know how hard it is, and we know there's a need.
Yeah.
And just if someone had given that gift to us 20 years ago, we could have saved so many hard times in our relationship, in our marriage, and in our lives. Just to have those skills taught to us early on when we found out we had disabled kids, I know it would have changed my life. I would have been a lot happier and able to care for my kids better. We just really want to help those families, and that's why we're doing this. And like you said, we're not going to give up. It's been hard, but we're just going to keep pushing forward till we reach this goal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I thank you both. I really, really do. I told you I was looking forward to this, and yeah, yeah. I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah. So listen, before we wrap, if someone wanted to reach out, wanted to connect with you, wanted to collaborate, wanted to invest, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Reach out to us. Go to our website for the Holland House Project. It's hollandhouseproject.org, just spelled out, hollandhouseproject.org. And right there'll be a couple pages up in the top left-hand corner that you can navigate to. One of them will have my contact information on it, and you can actually see the plat, the preliminary plat that I kind of put together for the development. Past that point, at this point, that's an older drawing, but they can see that, and my contact information's on there. So my email, my phone number, all that stuff on there. It's just kirk@brokenkidsco.com, or my phone number 435-357. Free to give me a call. We're looking for fans and helpers and people who believe in dreams.
Absolutely. Well, look, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your story. I appreciate your perspective. We definitely need more people in this world, in this space, that's doing it the right way, like you are. Like I appreciate it. Thanks again for being here. And yeah, yeah. I appreciate y'all so much. I really, really,
Thank
I
you.
really, really.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. But those of you tuning in, listen, if you got value, I know you got value from this conversation. Please make sure you subscribe. Listen, we've got more conversations with amazing people just like Kirk and Susan Coppinger, who are here and doing things the right way and building legacy the right way. And so listen, until the next time, until the next episode, I'll see you then. You have a great one.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.